जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुञ्ज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारी। यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतीरवनचारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा गोपी वल्लभ राधा गोपी वल्लभ राधे। जय राधा मदन मोहन राधा मदन मोहन राधे। जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्र। जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा। जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पतवामी नयन पतवामी भाव तुम्हें Nitai Gaurango Gaurari. Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana, Jaya Sachinandana Gaurari. Patitapavana, Patitapavana, Patitapavana Gaurari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. श्री श्री राधा गोपी वल्लभ की जय। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की जय। इसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरौ श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपः कुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजाङ्ग्रये। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुष्ये नमः। नमो ब्राह्मण्याय देवाय गौब्राह्मणायताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाद प्रस्याद्यस्तारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। नुकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपः तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं श्रीपरमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्। ओम पवित्रो पवित्रो वा सर्वावस्थं गतोऽपि वा यत्स्मरेत् पुण्डरीकाक्षसभ्याभ्यन्तरं शुचि श्रीविष्णु श्रीविष्णु श्रीविष्णु। Hare Krishna, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, thank you for joining. Happy Ekadashi for everybody. I can see Prashant Reddy Prabhu, Dandot Pranam, Teja Prabhu, Dandot Pranam, Padma Mataji, Dandot Pranam,
Hare Krishna
Shilpa
Prabhu.
Mataji, Dandot Pranam, Ramachiranji Prabhu, how are you? Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam, Sanjay Prabhu, Dandot Pranam, Deepti
Thank you
Mataji,
for the
Dandot
result.
Pranam, Satya Sankarshan Prabhu, Dandot Pranam,
Another Nam Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Sachirandan Prem Prabhu, Dandot Pranam, Padma Mataji, Dandot Pranam, Swapna Mataji, Dandot Pranam, पांडुरंग प्रिय प्रभु जी हरि बोल दंडवत प्रणाम अकिंचन प्रिय प्रभु
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्णा माता जी दंडवत प्रणाम
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavad.
किरण प्रभु हरे कृष्णा दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी हरे कृष्णा थैंक यू फॉर जॉइनिंग एवरीवन सो we are I'm having this with me if you have it you can bring it with yourself we're going to read from the book the killing of the demon trinavarta trinavarta so this is one of the demons who was sent by Kamsa to kill Krishna in the early times, right? I mean, in his childhood times, after Putana, I believe. We just finished Putana. It was very nicely explained by multiple devotees, including Pavan Prabhu, Sucharita Mataji, and few others. So now we are here in the seventh chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto. So there is a prelude to this chapter, which is a long paragraph. I'm going to read that first. Just hear it attentively if you can. In this chapter, Sri Krishna's pastimes of breaking the cart, Sakata, Bhanjan, killing the asura known as Trinavarta and demonstrating the entire universe within his mouth are especially described. Oh, the three pastimes in the same chapter. When Sukadeva Goswami saw that Maharaj Parikshit was eagerly waiting to hear about Lord Krishna's pastimes as a child, he was very much pleased and he continued to speak. When Sri Krishna was only 3 years old and was just trying to turn backside up, before he even attempted to crawl, Mother Yashoda wanted to observe a ritualistic ceremony with her friends, so for the good fortune of the child. Such a ritualistic ceremony is generally performed with ladies who have small children. When Mother Yashoda saw that Krishna was falling asleep because of other engagement, she put the child underneath a household cart called Sakata. And while the child was sleeping, she engaged herself in other business pertaining to the auspicious ritualistic ceremony. Underneath the cart was a cradle, and Mother Yashoda placed the child in that cradle. The child was sleeping, but suddenly he awakened and, as usual for a child, began to kick his small legs. This kicking shook the cart, which collapsed with a great sound, breaking completely and spilling all its contents. Children who were playing nearby immediately informed Mother Yashoda that the cart had broken, and therefore she hastily arrived there in great anxiety with the other gopis. Mother Yashoda immediately took the child on her lap and allowed him to suck her breast. Then various types of Vedic ritualistic ceremonies were performed with the help of Brahmanas. Not knowing the real identity of the child, the Brahmanas showered the child with blessings. Another day, when Mother Yashoda was sitting with her child on her lap, she suddenly observed that he had assumed the weight of the entire universe. She was so astonished that she had to put the child down, and in the meantime, Trinavarta, one of the servants of Kamsa, appeared there as a whirlwind and took the child away. The whole tract of land known as Gokula became surcharged with dust. No one could see where the child had been taken, and all the gopis were overwhelmed because he had been taken away in the dust storm. But up in the sky, the Asura, being overburdened by the child, could not carry the child far away. Although he could, he also could not drop the child because the child had caught him so tightly that it was difficult for him to separate the child from his body. Thus, Trinavarta himself fell down from a very great height. The child, grasping him tightly by the shoulder, and immediately died. The demon, having fallen, the gopis picked the child up and delivered him to the lap of Mother Yashoda. Thus, Mother Yashoda was struck with wonder, but because of Yogamaya's influence, no one could understand who Krishna was and what had actually happened. Rather, everyone began to praise fortune for the child's having been saved from such a calamity. Nanda Maharaja, of course, was thinking of the wonderful foretelling of Vasudeva and began to praise him as a great yogi. Later, when the child was on the lap of Mother Yashoda, the child yawned, and Mother Yashoda could see within his mouth the entire universal manifestation. Hare Krishna. Three pastimes in a single chapter by Lord Sri Krishna, childhood pastimes. And it is also explained that Sukadeva Goswami was very happy to see the Parikshit Maharaj was eager to hear this. So let's read with the shloka by shloka. Text 1 and 2. Shri Raja Uvacha Yena Batareena Bhagavan Hari Ishvara Karoti Karana Ramyani Manojnani Chana Prabho Yach Chrinvato Paiti Aratir Vitrishna Satvamna Sudhyati Achirena Pumsa Bhaktir Harau Tat Purushe Cha Sakyam tad eva haram vada manyashe chet. Translation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. King Parikshit said, My Lord, Sukadev Goswami, all the various activities exhibited by the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are certainly pleasing to the ear and to the mind. Simply by one's hearing of these pastimes, the dirty things in one's mind immediately vanish. Generally, we are reluctant to hear about the activities of the Lord, but Krishna's childhood activities are so attractive that they are automatically pleasing to the mind and ear. Thus, one's attachment for hearing about material things, which is the root cause of material existence, vanishes, and one gradually develops devotional service to the Supreme Lord, attachment for Him, and friendship with devotees who give us the contribution of Krishna consciousness. If you think fit, please speak about those activities of the Lord. Purport. As stated in the Prema Vivarta, Krishna Bahirmukha Haiva Bhoga Vanchakare Nikatastha Mayatare Japitiya Dhare. Our material existence is Maya or illusion in which we desire different varieties of material enjoyment and therefore change to different varieties of bodies. Brahmanya Sarva Bhutani Yantrarudhani Mayaya Asan api kleshada asa deha. As long as we have these temporary bodies, they give us many varieties of tribulations. Adhyatmika, Adibhautika, and Aditaivika. This is the root cause of all sufferings. But this root cause of suffering can be removed by revival of our Krishna consciousness. All the Vedic literatures presented by Veda Vyasadeva, and other great sages are therefore intended to revive our Krishna consciousness, which begins to revive with Shravana Kirtanam, Shranvatam Swakatham Krishna Bhagavatam 1 to 17. Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic literatures exist simply to give us a chance to hear about Krishna. Krishna has different avatars or incarnations, all of which are wonderful and which arouse one's inquisitiveness. But generally, such avatars as Matsya, Kurma, and Varaha are not as attractive as Krishna. First of all, however, we have no attraction for hearing about Krishna, and this is the root cause of our suffering. But Parikshit Maharaj specifically mentions that the wonderful activities of baby Krishna, which amazed Mother Yashoda and other inhabitants of Braja, are especially attractive. From the very beginning of his childhood, Krishna killed Putana, Trinavarta, Sakatasura, and showed the entire universe within his mouth. Thus, the pastimes of Krishna, one after another, kept Mother Yashoda and all the inhabitants of Braja in great astonishment. The process to revive one's Krishna consciousness is Adhav Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 1.4.15. The pastimes of Krishna can be properly received from devotees. If one has developed a little bit of Krishna consciousness by hearing from Vaishnavas about the activities of Krishna, one becomes attached to the Vaishnavas who are interested only in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaja recommends that one hear about Krishna's childhood activities, which are more attractive than the activities of other incarnations such as Matsya, Kurma, and Varaha. Wanting to hear more and more from Sukadeva Goswami, Maharaj Parikshit requested him to continue describing Krishna's childhood activities, which are especially easy to hear and which create more and more inquisitiveness. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here, Parikshit Maharaj is saying that if we are in this material world, we can easily get diverted by the illusions of this material world. Everybody is busy, right? You can see everybody is busy outside. Nobody has time to hear about God. See how great is Maya. God cannot be ignored by his presence. God is so great that he cannot be ignored and cannot be told that he doesn't exist. Still, despite of all that, Maya is so powerful in this material world that people can lead a life not thinking about God. It's practically impossible, but still it is possible because the mind can be so nicely carried away, carried away. Like Trinavarta carried away Krishna. One other way to look at it. Trinavarta is actually carrying away our minds, right? Taking us away from Krishna. But the problem is the moment you get too involved in material life, uh, will be in a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear, actually. Why? Because material life is padam padam yatvi padam natesham. At every step there is danger. How much can you control? Hmm? You can't control. You can't control anything in this life, including you can't control yourself. What to speak of, what you want to achieve in this life. You try to control it, you'll find disappointment. If we think, sometimes we achieve something in life, it's only by the mercy of Krishna. He is intervening and saying, okay, feel some achievement. By the mercy of Krishna, he is paying back for whatever karma we have. But actually, we cannot achieve anything here. Everything is so turbulent. You never know what's going to happen. So many uh, what is it? Mm, So many factors which are beyond our control are affecting us. Like right now, a fool called Trump is sitting in America, 8,000 miles away, and is making decisions which can affect us sitting here. Right? So, do we have any influence on Trump that we can call him and tell, stop this nonsense that you're trying to do, stop whatever agenda that you're carrying? No, we can't. Nothing we can. Even our neighbor, Pakistan, can we tell anything? We can't tell anything. That is how the nature of this material world is filled with difficulties, filled with uncertainties, filled with agendas. But among midst of all of this, if we realize that we are actually not this body, we are the soul, and that intelligence is given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, right? That we are not this body, we are the soul. And then understanding that we are the soul, we have to understand what is the best nourishment for the soul. And the best nourishment for the soul, as explained by Srimad Bhagavatam, and even in this verse by Parikshit Maharaj, is hearing the pastimes of Krishna. Even though Krishna's pastimes look to be humanly or superhumanly, but they are very attractive to the heart because these are the pastimes that we will see when we go back to the spiritual world. So we all want to go back to the spiritual world. If people don't have attraction to hear about Krishna, to hear about his pastimes, then why would they get entry into the spiritual world? If today we don't have any attraction for hearing Krishna's pastimes, that only means we are not ready to go back to the spiritual world. No matter how great Sanskrit scholars we are, how great whatever we think we are, it's of no use because uh, we can't get an entry into the spiritual world, right? So here Parikshit Maharaj is asking, and Prabhupada is explaining so beautifully that the root cause of our suffering is our lack of attraction to hear about Krishna. Just imagine Parikshit Maharaj, 7 days and 7 nights, that's all he had before he had to leave his body, right? And he had no tension throughout. You can't hear a single spell of tension that death is coming to Parikshit Maharaj because Parikshit Maharaj is a realized soul and he is hearing Krishna Katha. In midst of Krishna Katha, the only tension he has is to hear more. That's all. And here he is asking, maybe this is the fifth day. I don't know. I don't want to speculate, but among the 7 days, we're already in 10th canto. That means at least 4 or 5 days would have passed, right? Or mid of fifth day, something like that. Which means it's just 1.5 day away from death. Professor Mataji, if we get to know in advance that we're going to die, how much anxiety will we carry? We'll be so fearful. What is going to happen next? Where will I go? Right? And what happens to my identity? So many things, right? But here Parikshit Maharaj has no anxiety. He is completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord. And look at it. He is excited to hear about Krishna's activities. Jai Parikshit Maharaj. Text number 3. अथान्यत् अपि कृष्णस्य तोकाचरितम् अद्भुतं मानुषं लोकम् आसाद्य taj jatim anuruddhata. Translation. Please describe other pastimes of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared on this planet Earth, imitating a human child and performing wonderful activities like killing Putana. So excitingly, he's saying, please tell more, I want to hear more. Are there more? There must be more. Please tell me, like that. So Maharaj Parikshit requested Sukadeva Goswami to narrate other childhood pastimes exhibited by Krishna while playing as a human child. The Supreme Personality of Godhead incarnates at different times in different planets and universes, and according to the nature of those places, he exhibits his unlimited potency. That a child sitting on the lap of his mother was able to kill the gigantic Putana is extremely wonderful for the inhabitants of this place. But on other planets, the inhabitants are more advanced, and therefore the pastimes of the Lord performs there are still more wonderful. Krishna's appearance on this planet like a human being makes us more fortunate than the demigods in the higher planets, and therefore Maharaj Parikshit was very much interested in hearing about them. Jai Srila Prabhupada. You must understand that when these purports are being translated, Prabhupada was in his most advanced state of leaving this planet, right? Practically, just around Brahma Vimohan Lila, which is few chapters away. These are the last chapters Prabhupada translated. And look at if you see the mood of Prabhupada giving here, giving us all the mercy, which will last forever in these books. Prabhupada is so beautifully saying, how Krishna is so attractive, his pastimes are so attractive, completely immersed in Krishna. Prabhupada did not have to make an effort, he's a pure devotee. Vaishnava coming from the spiritual world. Like I try to focus, somebody like me, I try to focus on Krishna to become Krishna conscious. But Prabhupada was completely Krishna conscious. And he was focusing on giving us Krishna consciousness. Right? Text 4. Now Sukadeva Goswami is speaking. Shri Sukha Uvacha Kadachit Anuttanika Kautukaplave Janmarksha Yoge Samaveta Yositam Vaditra Gita Dvijamantra Vachakais Chakara Sunor Abhishechanam Sati. Translation. Sukadeva Goswami said, when Mother Yashoda's baby was slanting his body to attempt to rise and turn around, this attempt was observed by a Vedic ceremony. In such a ceremony called Dana, which is performed when a child is due to leave the house for the first time, the child is properly bathed. Just after Krishna turned 3 months old, Mother Yashoda celebrated this ceremony with other women in the neighborhood. On that day, there was conjunction of the moon with the constellation Rohini. As the Brahmanas joined by chanting Vedic hymns and professional musicians also took part, this great ceremony was observed by Mother Yashoda. Jai. Purport. There is no question of overpopulation or of children's being a burden for their parents in a Vedic society. Such a society is so well organized and people are so advanced in spiritual consciousness that childbirth is never regarded as a burden or a botheration. The more a child grows, the more his parents become jubilant, and the child's attempts to turn over are also a source of jubilation. Even before the child is born, when the mother is pregnant, many recommended ritualistic ceremonies are performed. For example, when the child has been within the womb for 3 months and for 7 months, there is a ceremony the mothers observe by eating with the neighboring children. This ceremony is called Swada Bhakshana. Similarly, before the birth of the child, there is Garbhadana ceremony. In Vedic civilization, childbirth or pregnancy is never regarded as a burden. Rather, it is a cause for jubilation. In contrast, people in modern civilization do not like pregnancy or childbirth. And when there is a child, they sometimes kill it. We have just considered, we can just consider how human society has fallen since the inauguration of Kali Yuga. Although people still claim to be civilized, at the present moment there is actually no human civilization but only an assembly of two-legged animals. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada is pounding. Hare Krishna is saying such a burdensome way. These days, people look at pregnancy and becoming a mother. Becoming a mother is such a great gift given by God. But unfortunately, today's generation women, they think it's a very big problem for them. They don't even get married at the right age. They, 18, 19, 20. Max, you should get married by this age. No, I'll get married after 27, 28, 30. I mean, like, so many qualities of a mother are butchered by this materialistic way of living, these tensions, anxieties of the material world, which should be normally taken care of by males, because their nature is like that. But when women do all these things, they are basically doing something very unnatural, which will affect their body, their mind, their consciousness, their happiness. Never allowed them to be happy because it's for somebody who can become a mother, a person. Can you imagine somebody growing inside you? I can't imagine. Like I'm a male, I can't imagine somebody growing inside me. But for a woman, she has that gift, special gift. And that person, who is growing inside is a completely new individual, a soul who has come and is going to come through you into this world. And there are so much excitement, exciting things the mother thinks about the child. It is explained that, uh, you know, in one other place, I was hearing that mother makes sure that she reads Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's pastimes, especially when the child is there in the womb. Because the child may not be able to see, the child may not be able to read because he's still inside the womb, but the child can hear. It is explained the first organs that come out are ears, right? And these ears are so active for a child that even staying within the womb, he can hear what mother is speaking, what his mother is saying, everything he can hear. And so have great souls heard, like Parikshit Maharaj, like Sukadev Goswami himself heard the explanation of Bhagavatam from Veda Vyasa when he was inside his mother's womb, right? And so is the like of Prahlad Maharaj. He heard directly from Narad Muni. So, doing activities in relation to the child's coming into this world is so special for the entire family, right from before the time of his birth, including Garbhadana Sanskar, where an invitation is sent to the right soul to come into our life, right? To the other ceremonies such as the child turning, there are endless ceremonies actually, but these days barely we are celebrating any. The child should also feel special when you perform such ceremony. Child also feels very special. Oh, my parents, of course, this young age, no. But once he crosses 2, 3, the only big impressions that he'll carry is how his parents are celebrating all these ceremonies, right? But it's so unfortunate in Kali Yuga, childbirth is a burden. There are some people are even going for surrogacy. What is that? Having the child to some other woman and then taking the child. All kinds of crazy things are going on. But here is Mother Yashoda so beautifully, with so much eagerness, making arrangements for celebrating this. Text 5. नन्दस्य पत्नी कृत मज्नादिकं विप्रैकृत स्वस्त्य यनं सुपूजितै अनाद अनाद्यवास सर्ग अभीष्ट धेनुभिः सा संजात निद्राक्षम असि असिचयच शनै. Translation. After completing the bathing ceremony for this child, Mother Yashoda received the Brahmanas by worshipping them with proper respect and giving them ample food grains and other eatables, clothing and desirable cows and garlands. The Brahmanas properly chanted Vedic hymns to observe the auspicious ceremony, and when they finished, and Mother Yashoda saw that the child felt sleepy, she lay down on the bed with the child until he was peacefully asleep. An affectionate mother takes great care of her child and is always anxious to see that the child is not disturbed even for a moment. As long as the child wants to remain with the mother stays with the child and the child feels very comfortable. Mother Yashoda saw that her child felt sleepy, and to give him all facilities for sleep, she lay down with the child, and when he was peaceful, she got up to attend her other household affairs. See how affectionate the mother is. She is nicely sleeping beside the child, looking at the child, kissing the child, touching the child, rubbing the child, massaging the child, and observing him, go to sleep. Such a beautiful scene, such a beautiful scene, and we all, Prabhuji's in this call, are so fortunate that our mothers have done this to us, right? We all were small children sleeping beside her, sucking her breast milk, feeling the warmth of her love. This is this is something is so precious, Prabhuji and Mataji's. We don't realize it, but God knows it how precious. So He comes, descends from Goloka to experience this, which is Mother Yashoda in this Bhauma Vrindavan, right? Even God is eager to experience this rasa of Vatsalya, of this kind of love. So beautiful. Hare Krishna. As long as the child wants to remain with the mother stays with the child. So much time these days, can you imagine? Children, after their birth, are thrown into crushes. There's no mother's warmth, Prabhuji's. How unfortunate are they? Hare Krishna, what are we doing? क्या कर रहे हैं हम लोग? To buy a flat or a villa, we are giving away, we're not giving the most eligible thing for our children. They are taking birth, they want their mother beside them, but we are busy. I've seen when I was working in IT, I had seen one lady, she had given birth to her child, and she was constantly on calls for the office, constantly. The child is crying, it's a problem for the mother, the child is crying. Instead of going and embracing and kissing, they are putting ayahs in the house to take care of the child. The child is wanting this birthright to be with the mother. It is such an inert need and such an important need because once you grow, you can't experience the same kind of dependence on your mother and experience the same warmth. But it's so unfortunate, so unfortunate. The children have to go through this, right? And most importantly, the mothers are sleeping beside their children sometimes or keeping their children on their lap and they're watching mobile phone reels. Ah, Krishna, what is the child seeing? What is the child hearing for the first time? Nonsensical things of this world he is hearing through those mobile phones, right? Instead of hearing Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan, some nice Lala songs from his mother, he is hearing debates and war mongering, newses, parliament sessions, or even sometimes bad words being used in social media. Mother doesn't even, mother is thinking, oh, what will my child understand is very small, let me keep browsing and seeing. Father also is browsing and seeing. But little that they know that the child is hearing everything. He was hearing right from the womb, and now he's also hearing outside the womb. Uh, it is so important that the consciousness of the child is properly fixed right from the childhood. A child is so much in absorbing mode. Small children, as old as 2-year-old, 3-year-old, are being given mobile phones. I see them in the sometimes in satsang also. Devotees give the mobile phone to the child so they are not disturbed. They can hear the class. Little that they know, even the child will love to hear the class. Even child will love to hear the class. But they think, oh, he'll be notorious. Let him be notorious. Let him do a little bit running around here. After that, he'll settle down. Soul is waiting to hear the pastimes of Krishna. But parents are so impatient. They treat the child like a machine. Like a machine is, what do you call that? Off, right? You just off the machine. I can off the child by putting a mobile phone in front of the child. And what does the child see? What does the child hear? And what kind of consciousness does the child develop? None of these things are given any importance in our, so-called modern society. We treat each other like machines. Just keep him calm, right? Wife, how to make the wife calm? Go buy her some jewelry, buy her some saris. She'll be happy. How to make the husband happy? Just cook something for him. Just make him happy. Let me get my time. That is the worst thing that we don't understand. The soul only has two needs: to love and to be loved. These are the only two things. But it is so unfortunate. We are completely calculating it wrong. We are trying to find that love and happiness by not spending time with each other. Instead, we're trying to spend with our mobile phones, uh, spend with technology, spend with artificial things, but we are not actually finding that happiness from within. Text 6. Anuthani kaustukya mana manasvini समागतान् पूजयति व्रजौक्षसा नैवाश्रुणोद्वै रुदितं सुतस्य स रुदन् शरणार्थी चरणौ उदाक्षिपत्. Translation. The liberal mother Yashoda, absorbed in celebrating the Uthana ceremony, was busy receiving guests, worshipping them with all respect and offering them clothing, cows, garlands, and grains. Thus, she could not hear the child crying for his mother. At that time, the child Krishna, demanding to drink the milk of his mother's breast, angrily threw his legs upwards. Hare Krishna. Just close your eyes and try to imagine the scene, Prabhuji and Mataji. I'm so fortunate that Prabhupada is writing the purports and translations in such a beautiful way, making us imagine the scene that Krishna, little Krishna, beautiful, supreme personality of God, the cause of all causes, is kept by Yashoda Maya in the cart, and she is taking care of people outside, and Krishna gets angry. His mother is not there, and he starts kicking. Right? Just imagine how much children in the cradles or in the crushes or in so-called daycares are kicking to get their mother. And what do they get? A bottle with a nipple with contaminated milk to drink. Can you imagine what kind of world that we have made for ourselves? It's so saddening, isn't it? Every time I see small children being sent to daycares and mother is working in Microsoft or Amazon, I feel the child is cursed to take birth in such a house. Isn't it?
Mhm.
Such a curse. My God, what kind of mother did I get? And mother is thinking, my child is so fortunate to take birth in my family and to me because I'm so qualified to earn money and buy a house in which we can live happily. Prabhus and Matajis, it is such an illusion that we created for ourselves. Such an illusion. The child is only happy in the womb, in the arms, near the breast, near the warmth of his mother. Please, don't do that to your children. Don't make them lose the greatest feeling of love for which even God appears to take that feeling of love, right? In Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna is not a child, but when he comes to Bhauma Vrindavan, he gets to do this childhood pastimes because he appears like a child. And see how he's eager. She just kept him. She was with him. She did all the ceremony. She gave her breast milk. She slept beside him. She gave him all the warmth. She just went to take care of few other things, and Krishna is immediately eager. So how much is eager for love? How much is he eager to experience that warmth? And he's kicking now. Purport. Krishna had been placed underneath a household hand cart. But this handcart was actually another form of Shakatasura. excuse me, a demon who had come there to kill the child. Now, on the plea of demanding to suck his mother's breast, Krishna took this opportunity to kill the demon. Thus, he kicked Shaktasura just to expose him. Although Krishna's mother was engaging in receiving guests, Lord Krishna wanted to draw her attention by killing the Shaktasura. And therefore, he kicked that cart shaped demon. Such are the pastimes of Krishna. Krishna wanted to draw the attention of his mother, but while doing so, he created a great havoc, not understandable by ordinary persons. These narrations are wonderfully enjoyable, and those who are fortunate are struck with wonder upon hearing of these extraordinary activities of the Lord. Although the less intelligent regard them as mythological because a dull brain cannot understand them, they are real facts. These narrations are actually so enjoyable and enlightening that Maharaj Parikshit and Sukadeva Goswami took pleasure in them, and other liberated persons following in their footsteps become fully jubilant by hearing about the wonderful activities of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Right? Prabhupada is saying that dull brains cannot understand it. Dull brains. Dull means completely spiritually dull. They are materially very active. Multitasking is going on. But they can't appreciate the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they can't relish it. Right? Ada sayanasya shishor anolpaka प्रवालं मृदु अंग्रि हतं व्यवर्तता विध्वस्त नानरस गुप्त भाजनम व्यात्यस्य व्यात्यस्त चक्राक्ष विभिन्न कुभरम. Lord Sri Krishna was lying down underneath the handcart in one corner of the courtyard, and although his little legs were as soft as leaves, when he struck the cart with his legs, he turned over violently and collapsed. The wheel separated from the axle. The wheel separated from the axle. The hubs and spokes fell apart, and the pole of the handcart broke. On the cart, there were many little utensils made of various metals, and all of them scattered hither and thither. Hare Krishna. I'm sure, we all were also placed in a cart when we were young. My mother tells me that they used to live in a single room in Pune, when I was born. My father used to work in defense. They used to live in Pune, and they only had one room. That one room was their hall, kitchen, front room, everything, and a common bathroom outside, a small house. And during that time, she used to keep me, they just tie a small dupatta or a sari under the bed, right, and put me inside it, and just keep moving it like this, like this, like this, under the bed. There's no space. There's no space for something else. And we used to I used to nicely sleep in that, and get nice lala songs and everything. Recently, when we went to Hampi, I remember we went to this place. What is that place called? Chakratirtha. Yes, Chakratirtha in Hampi. And there is a place, a small hotel, an open hotel where they only sell idlis, right? Idli and some, it's a Mysore, no, not Mysore bhaji. What is it? Mirchi bhaji, something like that. Nicely being done. He's a devotee, and he pretty devotionally inclined person. Right outside the main door of the Lord Ram's temple in Hampi, Kodandrama temple in Chakratirtha, just opposite to that. And it is on top of a hill actually, it's a little elevated. The temple is here and the restaurant is here, right beside the Chakratirtha river, right? The water. It's actually a very dangerous spot to sit and eat also, because if you fall, you literally fall uh, down. And, this lady, she kept her child, the person who runs the restaurant, because she's busy making idli and along with her husband, she's busy to serve the people who are coming. She just kept there is a tree under which we all have to sit. So she just tied a sari, like a small bag. I'm sure you're understanding what I'm saying. So put her child inside it and just left. And there is so much breeze that the thing is moving all by itself, this way, that way, that way, this way. And the child is completely, nicely enjoying the moment, and he slept. One leg is inside, one leg is outside, like this, right? And the mother is also not that bothered. He is actually at a height of almost 3 feet above the ground. It's pretty dangerous. And if it moves a lot, it can even go in the direction of the river. And if the child falls, he'll fall directly to the river. I mean, not directly, but crawl and fall. It's like uphill and with a slope. But the child is so enjoying in that beautiful place. Hare Krishna. And the mother is busy doing what she's doing. And as soon as the child cries, she immediately runs and picks up the child and gives her milk. Or embraces and walks for a little while. Right? Or holds the child in her hand and starts continuing to work. Hare Krishna. What a beautiful uh, way of bringing up children. Prabhuji, something contrast that I saw when I went to the Western world is there. Even the doctor suggests that the child has to be kept in another room. Can you imagine? A child who loves to hold his mother, crawl on the mother and father on the bed, nicely enjoy. Instead of that, they are kept in a different room. It's like a fashion thing, You buy a big cradle and you keep in another room. And during the night, the mother can go and see if the child is sleeping well. It's like training a child. What nonsense training are you talking about? Because the parents still want to enjoy their senses. They don't want the child on the bed. They put a diaper and put the child in another room, and there are some toys hanging around, right? And the child can stand up, walk, sit, whatever. And small CCTVs are kept now. And to make matters worse, the CCTV connection is given to grandparents who are living in India, so that it's like offshoring of child care. Huh? So because it's daytime for grandparents, right? While the child gets up, they're talking in the CCTV. The child is looking at grandparents in a small CCTV, like a TV camera, and the child is talking, and the mother and father nicely sleeping. This is a sophisticated way of sense enjoyment. But what kind of attachment will the mother develop towards the child that way? Actually, if you see, the demoniac civilization in the West is created right from the childhood by doing these activities. Because the child has no connection. Child can't feel the mother most of the time, kept away. In fact, they even say, don't even lift the child. You leave the child because he'll become habituated of you lifting, and he'll never let you live a peaceful life. Are Baba, that is what a child needs. I don't know. I'm not the best of the parent, but I remember spending good time with my children. Both my sons, holding them, playing with them on the bed. Okay, sometimes maybe I also was in IT industry, I was a little busy, but we never hired any ayah. My wife used to take care of them so nicely, and all the time playing, and at least the mobile phones were not that influenced. We were not influenced by mobile phones. These days, I see in apartment communities, they bring the children out to the play area. The child is playing, they don't even look at the child. During the time, they're browsing WhatsApp and browsing Facebook and Instagram. They don't even see the child playing. They don't see how the child is walking. How is he climbing? The child is asking for the attention. He climbs 2 steps on that rod thing and he looks at his mother, Ma, 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 Ma. And mother is like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And she's again browsing. And they say, oh, we are feeling bored. I think we should go out on a vacation. You nonsensical mother and father, can't you see why you are getting bored? Because you're not enjoying the greatest gift of a child's activities. It's so unfortunate. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has commented on this verse as follows. When Lord Krishna was of a very tender age, his hands and legs resembled soft new leaves. Yet simply by touching the hand cart with his legs, he made the cart fell to pieces. It was quite impossible for him to act in this way and yet not exert himself very much. The Lord in his Vamana avatara had to extend his foot to the highest, the greatest height to penetrate the covering of the universe. And when the Lord killed the gigantic demon Hiranyakashipu, he had to assume the special bodily feature of Nara Simhadeva. But in his Krishna avatara, the Lord did not need to exert such energy. Therefore, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. In other incarnations, the Lord had to exert some energy according to the time and circumstances, but in this form, he exhibited unlimited potency. Thus, the handcart collapsed, its joints broken, and all the metal pots and utensils shattered. The Vaishnava Toshini remarks that although the handcart was higher than the child could easily touch the wheel of the cart. What is it again? Although the handcart was higher than the child could easily touch the wheel of the cart, and this was sufficient to send the demon down to the earth. The Lord simultaneously pushed the demon to the earth and superficially broke the handcart. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna is enjoying these pastimes, scaring his mother, creating anxiety. Text 8. Drustva Yashoda Pramukha Vrajastriya Anutha Nike Karmani Ya Samagata Nanda Dayas Chap Jatbhuta Darshana Kula Katham Swayam Vai Sakatam Viparyagat. When Mother Yashoda and the other ladies who had assembled for the Uthana festival and all the men headed by Nanda Maharaj saw the wonderful situation, they began to wonder how the handcart had collapsed by itself. They began to wander here and there, "Arey," trying to find the cause, but were unable to do so. Text 9. Uch, Uchur, Uchur Avya Vasita Matin Gopan Gopischa Balaka Rudata Nena Padena Kshiptam Etan Na Samshaya. The assembled cowherd men and ladies began to contemplate how this thing had happened. Is it the work of some demon or evil planet? They asked. At that time, the small children present asserted that the cart had been kicked apart by the baby Krishna. As soon as the crying baby had kicked the cart's wheel, the cart had collapsed. There was no doubt about it. So, small children are telling what exactly happened, right? Purport. We have heard of people being haunted by ghosts. Having no gross material body, a ghost seeks shelter of a gross body to stay in and haunt. The Shakatasura was a ghost who had taken shelter of the handcart and was looking for the opportunity to do mischief to Krishna. When Krishna kicked the cart with his small and very delicate legs, the ghost was immediately pushed down to the earth and his shelter dismantled as already described. This was possible for Krishna because he has full potency as confirmed in Brahma Samhita 5.32. Angani yasya sakalendriya vritimanti pasyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti ananda chinmay sat ujjvala vigrahasya govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Krishna's body is Sachidananda Vigraha or Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha. That is, any of the parts of his Ananda Chinmaya body can act for any other part. Such are the inconceivable potencies of Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord does not need to acquire these potencies, he already has them. Thus, Krishna kicked his little legs and his whole purpose was fulfilled. Also, when the handcart broke, an ordinary child would have been injured in many ways, but because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he enjoyed the dismantling of the cart and nothing injured him. Everything done by him is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, full transcendental bliss. Thus, Krishna factually enjoyed. Krishna enjoyed. The nearby children saw that actually Krishna had kicked the wheel of the cart, and this was how the accident happened. But by the arrangement of Yogamaya, all the Gopas and Gopis and Gopas thought that the accident had taken place because of some bad planet or some ghost. But in fact, everything was done by Krishna and enjoyed by him. Those who enjoy the activities of Krishna are also on the platform of Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. They are liberated from the material platform. When one develops the practice of hearing Krishna Katha, he is certainly transcendental to material existence, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Unless one is on the spiritual platform, one cannot enjoy the transcendental activities of Krishna. Or in other words, whoever engages in hearing the transcendental activities of Krishna is not on the material platform, but on the transcendental spiritual platform. Hari Bol. Yes. Hare Krishna. Next look at text 10. Nate Shraddha Dhire Gopa Bala Bhashitam iti uta apramayam balam tasya balakasya nate vidhu. The assembled gopis and gopas, unaware that Krishna is always unlimited, could not believe that baby Krishna had some inconceivable power. They could not believe the statements of the children and therefore neglected these statements as being childish. Text 11. Rudantam sutam adhaya yashodagraha sankita krita swastya yanam viprai suktai sthanam apayayat. Thinking that some bad planet had attacked Krishna, Mother Yashoda picked up the crying child and allowed him to suck her breast. Then she called for experienced Brahmanas to chant Vedic hymns and perform an auspicious ritualistic ceremony. Purport. Whenever there is some danger or some inauspicious occurrence, it is the custom of the Vedic civilization to have qualified Brahmanas immediately chant Vedic hymns to counteract it. Mother Yashoda did this properly and allowed the baby to suck her breast. It's so personal. Such a beautiful personal life, right? And surrounded by so many. These days, mother and child are living in flat number 501, and God knows who is around it. Nobody is there. Look at Yashoda here. So many friends, so many gopis, gopas, and she could call the brahmanas immediately. Huh? And they're all coming and nicely performing this nice puja, of chanting the Vedic hymns. What a beautiful world we were part of. Villages are still like that. Unfortunately, even in villages now we have these mobile phones which are killing the whole beauty of the village. Text 12. Purvavat Sthapitam Gopair Balibhi Sa Parichadam Vipra Hutvachayam Chakrur Dadi Ashakta Kusam Bhubhi. After the strong, stout cowherd men assembled the pots and paraphernalia on the handcart and set it up as before. The Brahmanas performed a ritualistic ceremony with the fire sacrifice to appease the bad planet, and then with rice grains, kusha, water, and curd, they worship the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna. The handcart purport. The handcart was loaded with heavy utensils and other paraphernalia. To set the cart in its original position required much strength, but this was easily done by the cowherdmen. Then, according to the system of the Gopa Jati, various Vedic ceremonies were performed to appease the calamitous situation. Hare Krishna. We'll just read one more. Yeah, so what do you all feel, Prabhuji and Matajis, at this point, reading this chapter? Any exchanges? Any thoughts? Or all you are also busy in your mobile phones? Krishna's pastime, such a sweet pastime of killing Shakatasura, and the way Prabhupada is explaining uh, how the enjoyment was between mother and children, right? So beautiful, right? Do you all remember
Yes,
experiencing
Prabhuji.
your mother's love?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hmm. Yes, it's so precious, so precious. But unfortunately, we have no taste for that. We have to settle down, no? That is the biggest tension people have now.
ప్రభుజీ ఒక క్వశ్చన్
Hmm.
ఇక్కడ అంటే శకటాసురుడి గురించి అంటే కంసుడు పంపించాడు ఇలా కృష్ణుని చంప అట్లా ఆ విషయాలు డీటెయిల్స్ ఏమి ఇవ్వలేదేంటి ప్రభుజీ
ఇక్కడ ఇవ్వకపోవచ్చు కానీ ఆచార్యులు దే హ్యావ్ మెన్షన్ ఇన్ దర్ కమెంటరీస్ దట్ దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ డీమన్స్ విచ్ వర్ సెంట్ టు హార్మ్ కృష్ణ.
because there is a detailed explanation for Putana, but why Sekatasura, how he came and who told him to kill and why, what is his background? Like we know who is
Yeah,
Putana and her background,
yeah. Maybe
but
those you can find in extension to the scriptures by different Goswamis. They have given many commentaries.
mm,
There are many books written by six Goswamis, which are now being translated by Shivram Maharaj and many other sannyasi Maharajas who are like even Gopal Champu, written by
mm,
by the Goswamis and being translated by Banu Maharaj. They must have a lot of more commentaries about each demon, right? So
yes,
yeah, with the
thank
ghost,
you.
it also proves once again that ghosts exist. Ghost is an unbodied soul, right? The soul is
Mm,
a body. It's still struggling to fulfill its desires in this material world, and they're used like demons, right? They become demoniac and they conquer. That is the reason, in our Vedic culture, people used to nicely, what is that? Keep the house clean, surroundings clean, put cow dung, around the house, auspicious signs at every place in the house, so that this kind of things don't happen. And still it happens, but still, children are protected. Children are protected. So we'll read the next one. It's a big purport, but we'll try to focus. Hare Krishna. Ye असूयांत्र दम्भेर्ष हिंसमाना विवर्जिता न तेषां सत्य शिलानाम् आशिषो विफला कृता इति बालकम् आदाय साम सामर्ग यजुरुपाकृतै जलै पवित्रावुषधिभिर् अभिष्य द्विजोत्तमै वाच वा वाचयित्वा स्वस् स्वस्त्ययनं नन्दगोपा समाहिता हुत्वा चाग्निं द्विजातिभै प्रादाद अन्नम mahagunam. Translation. When Brahmanas are free from envy, untruthfulness, unnecessary pride, grudges, disturbance by the opulence of others, and false prestige, their blessings never go in vain. Considering this, Nanda Maharaj soberly took Krishna on his lap and invited such truthful Brahmanas to perform a ritualistic ceremony according to the holy hymns of the Samaveda, Rigveda, and Yajurveda. Then, while the hymns were being chanted, he bathed the child with water mixed with pure herbs, and after performing a fire ceremony, he sumptuously fed all the Brahmanas with first class grains and other food. Purport. Nanda Maharaj was very confident about the qualifications of Brahmanas and their blessings. He was fully confident that simply if the good Brahmanas showered their blessings, the child Krishna would be happy. The blessing of qualified Brahmanas can bring happiness not only to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but to everyone. Because Krishna is self sufficient, he does not require anyone's blessings. Yet, Nanda Maharaj thought that Krishna required the blessings of the Brahmanas. What then is to be said of others? In human society, therefore, there must be an ideal class of men, Brahmanas, who can bestow blessings upon others, namely upon the Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, so that everyone will be happy. Krishna therefore says in Bhagavad Gita 4.13 that human society must have four social orders: Chaturvarnam, Maya Srishtam, Guna Karma Vibhagasha. It is not that everyone should become a Shudra or a Vaishya and the human society will prosper. And as enunciated in Bhagavad Gita, there must be a class of Brahmanas with qualities like Satya, truthfulness, Sama, peacefulness, Dhamma, self-control, and Titiksha, tolerance. Satya, Sama, Dhamma, Titiksha. Here also in the Bhagavatam, Nanda Maharaj invites qualified Brahmanas. There may be caste Brahmanas, and we have all respect for them. But their birth in Brahmana families does not mean that they are qualified to bestow blessings upon the other members of human society. This is the verdict of the Shastras. In Kali Yuga, caste Brahmanas are accepted as Brahmanas. Vipratve Sutram Evahi. Bhagavatam 12.2.3. In Kali Yuga, simply by putting on a thread worth 2 paise, one becomes a Brahmana. Such Brahmana were not called by Nanda Maharaj, as stated by Narada Muni, Bhagavatam 7.11.35. Yasyayal Lakshanam Proktam. The symptoms of a Brahmana are stated in Shastra, and one must be qualified with the symptoms. The blessings of Brahmanas who are not envious, disturbed, or puffed up with pride and the false prestige, and who are fully qualified with truthfulness will be useful. Therefore, a class of men must be trained as Brahmanas from the very beginning. Brahmachari Gurukule Vasan Dhanto Gurur Hitam. Bhagavatam 7.12.1. The word Danta is very important. Danta refers to one who is not envious, disturbing, or puffed up with false prestige. With the Krishna consciousness movement, we are trying to introduce such Brahmanas in society. Brahmanas must ultimately be Vaishnavas, and if one is a Vaishnava, he has already acquired the qualifications of a Brahmana. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Yes, 18.54 Bhagavad Gita. The word Brahma Bhuta refers to becoming a Brahmana or understanding what is Brahmana. Brahma Jnatiti Brahmana. One who is Brahma Bhuta is always happy, Prasannatma. Na sochati, na kankshati. He is never disturbed from material necessities. Sama sarveshu bhuteshu. He is ready to bestow blessings upon everyone equally. Mad bhaktim labate param. Then he becomes a Vaishnava. In this age, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur introduced the sacred thread ceremony for his Vaishnava disciples with the idea that people should understand that when one becomes a Vaishnava, he has already acquired the qualifications of a Brahmana. Therefore, in the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, those who are twice initiated as so as to become Brahmanas must bear in mind their great responsibility to be truthful, control the mind and senses, be tolerant, and so on. Then their life will be successful. It was it was such Brahmanas that Nanda Maharaj invited to chant the Vedic hymns, not ordinary Brahmanas. Verse 13 distinctly mentions himsa mana. The word mana refers to false prestige or false pride. Those who were falsely proud, thinking that they were Brahmanas because they were born in Brahmana families, were never invited by Nanda Maharaj on such occasions. Wow. Prabhupada is taking this beautiful verses in Srimad Bhagavatam and explaining the responsibilities of Brahmana and how Brahmana's blessings are the most precious and how people cannot pose themselves as Brahmana just by wearing a thread. Continuing the purport, verse 14 mentions Pravi Traushadi. In any ritualistic ceremony, many herbs and leaves, Pavitra Aushadi. In this ritualistic ceremony, in any ritualistic ceremony, many herbs and leaves are required. These were known as Pavitra Patra. Pavitra Patra. Sometimes there were Nimba leaves, sometimes Bail leaves, mango leaves, Ashwata leaves, or Amalaki leaves. Similarly, there were Panchagavya, Panchashya, and Pancharatna. Although Nanda Maharaj belonged to the Vaishya community, everything was known to him. The most important word in these verses is Mahagunam, indicating that the Brahmanas were offered very palatable food of exalted quality. Such palatable dishes were generally prepared with two things, namely food grains and milk products. Bhagavad Gita 18.44 therefore enjoins that human society must give protection to the cows and encourage agriculture. Kshigo Raksha Vanijya Vaishya Karma Swabhavajam. Simply by expert cooking, hundreds and thousands of palatable dishes can be prepared from agricultural produce and milk products. This is indicated here by the words Annam Mahagunam. Still today in India, from these two things, namely food grains and milk, hundreds and thousands of varieties of food are prepared and then they are offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Prasada Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. Then the prasada is distributed. Even today in Jagannath Kshetra and other big temples, very palatable dishes are offered to the deity and prasad is distributed profusely. Cooked by first-class brahmanas with great knowledge, with expert knowledge, and then distributed to the public, this prasada is also a blessing from the brahmanas or vaishyas. There are four kinds of prasada: Chaturvidha, salty, sweet, sour, and pungent. Tastes are made with different types of species, and the food is prepared in four divisions called Charvya, Chushya, Lehya, and Pehya. Prasad that can be chewed, prasad that can be licked, prasada that tasted with the tongue, and prasada that is drunk. Thus, there are many varieties of prasada prepared very nicely with grains and ghee, offered to the deity and distributed to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and then to the general public. This is the way of human society. Killing the cows, spoiling the land will not solve the problem of food. This is not civilization. Uncivilized men living in the jungle and being unqualified to produce food by agriculture and cow protection may eat animals, but a perfect human society advanced in knowledge must learn how to produce first class food simply by agriculture and protection of cows. Just two more verses and we'll stop it here. गाव सर्व गुणोपेता वास सर वासस्रग रुक्म मालिनी आत्मजा भूत आत्मजाभ्युदयार्थाय प्रादात ते चान्व्य चान्व्ययुञ्जता. Nanda Maharaja, for the sake of the affluence of his own son, Krishna gave the Brahmanas cows fully decorated with garments, flower garlands, and golden necklaces. These cows, fully qualified to give ample milk, were given to the Brahmanas in charity, and the Brahmanas accepted them and bestowed blessings upon the whole family and especially upon Krishna. Purport. Nanda Maharaja first fed the Brahmanas sumptuously and then gave them in charity first class cows fully decorated with golden necklaces, garments, and flower garlands. How nicely they're taking care of Brahmanas. 17. Vipramantra vido yuktas tairya proktas tathashisa ta nishphala bhavishyanti na kadachid api spuhutam. The Brahmanas, who were completely expert in chanting the Vedic hymns, were all yogis fully equipped with mystic powers. Whatever blessings they spoke were certainly never fruitless. Purport. Brahmanas fully equipped with the Brahmanical qualifications are always yogis fully powerful with mystic yoga. Their words never fail. In every transaction with other members of society, Brahmanas are certainly dependable. In this age, however, one must take into account that Brahmanas are uncertain in their qualifications because there are no yajnik Brahmanas. All yajnas are forbidden. The only yajna recommended in this age is Sankirtana yajna. Yajne Sankirtana prayar yajanti hi sumedesha. Bhagavatam 11.532. Yajna means to satisfy Vishnu. Yajnartha karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Because in this age there are no qualified Brahmanas, people should perform yajna by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Yajna Sankirtana prayar yajantahi sumedesha. Life is meant for yajna, and yajna is performed by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Krishna Bhagwan ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sakata Sura's deliverance ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Yes, so after this, the Trinavarta pastime is going to start. Maybe some other devotee is going to take. But beautiful purports by Srila Prabhupada. Remaining chapter, actually, not many purports are there. It can go very fast. Only at the end. Yes, Prabhuji and Matajis. So thank you for being on Ekadashi day with me and giving your glorious association. I'm very grateful to every devotee who is there here today. And I hope you all enjoyed Krishna's kicking pastime, right? And how Krishna makes everything so special. We all are also special because we are part of this special, nice satsang where we get to read such things, right? So happy Ekadashi, happy chanting, happy reading. Let us all meet in Bhakti Center, Gachibowli. Today evening, we are continuing to celebrate the glorious services done by amazing devotees who have done so many Rath Yatras. We have at least another 12 to 13 devotees who are going to share such a nice thing, right? Doesn't happen anywhere else in the world. And if you're there in this part of the world, you better be there in Bhakti Center. Starts at 5:30 p.m. sharp. Hare Krishna. Yeah, any comment before we close the session? Comment, question, whatever. Okay, Provision Matajis, I have to do my chanting. It was a late evening yesterday. We had a nice dance, kirtan, everything for celebrating Devesh Prabhu, Sri Gopal Prabhu, and Priya Gopal Mataji's son. He is going to college now. They're celebrating all of these things nicely with Kirtan in the center, Jagannath in the center. So, lot to do for the day. Hare Krishna. Dandot Pranam. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Yes, Padma Mother, you made breakfast for your family. I'm coming to your house to eat it now. Ekadashi. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandot
Hare Krishna
Pranam.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam for the wonderful
Shilpa
class.
Mataji, did you record the class? Sorry, I don't know. I pressed the record, but it is not recorded. Did you record?
Oh, Prabhuji, I saw you recorded. It is recording, yes.
Oh, it is recording? Yes, it is
Yes,
recording.
yes,
Correct,
yes.
correct. Okay, okay, good. That's okay. Hari Bol. Dandot Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji.